Hi, I'm Azara Brava Laguna, and this is a new episode for my podcast La Revoltosa, previously known as Tristan. So in this podcast today we're gonna see what we saw yesterday at Ed's class. Yesterday was 1st of March 2022. So as you know, we are doing a play by David Cantona's Grief, and yesterday we were given a cast, like Ed told us who we are playing on the scene, on the play. So we are 8 in our masters, so all of us will play Pete. Pete is the lead character, I would say, and he's in all scenes, so we all have the chance to play Pete, and then we play a different character. So I'm playing Pete in scene 2, and I'm playing, obviously, and I knew that, the mom. The mom of the girl who suicides. So yesterday was a really good class. I was doing the scene number 2 with my partner Sammie-Jo, which I love. I'm so happy we are doing it together because I really wanted to do a scene with her. And so we were working on how to develop the character. So Ed was saying to us, giving us a hint of how we are. So for instance, Pete, my character, it took me a while, I have to say, to understand what Ed was saying, because I was just mixing up. It's like, okay, so I'm 27, I'm in an advertising agency, and I clearly fucked it up. Apologies for my language. So I've done something that is wrong. I've done a campaign based on suicide. So my boss is not really happy with me, so I'm really feeling bad and scared, like I'm gonna be fired. And this was the first time I got a chance to do something big, and I've been clearly done it the other way around, so it's like not really great. So I played Pete like that at the beginning, and Ed kindly indicate me that it was very wrong. I was like, okay, damn it, I didn't get it. And then so he was saying, like, because Pete goes through this process, like he has a breakdown when he sees this girl who has passed away, and he's getting very into her and to the idea of suicide, and somehow obsessed with this girl. And so he has been working all night preparing this campaign. So this campaign is based on her suicide, so he's super high. So then I thought, okay, so he's gonna be super high, probably he has taken something, and you know, like he's in this state of being super active. As Ed as well said, like when you have these moments of creativity, it's like you are super high on the top of everything, right? So I played it like that way, like very moving a lot, and like, yeah, a bit too much. And that was wrong. It was too much. So Ed told us that the one who is moving more around is the boss. So Sammie-Jo is more moving around, and I'm perplexed and like just simply not understanding what is happening. I think the idea is really good. I think I've come across like something magnificent, and it's so creative, and so I don't understand why my boss doesn't see it that way, or like why he's saying to me that my campaign is crazy. So I'm playing then the character like, what you saying? Like Ed was saying to us, kind of like the character is like this with the open arms looking up, and it's like, what did you just say? Like, I'm not getting it. I'm not really getting it, what you're trying to say to me. So we had another round, played a bit more that way, and it was going great until I stepped in. So there are so many things I learned from yesterday's class, but one of those things is exactly that one: how to contain yourself, how to contain your personality from stepping in to the character you are playing, right? So in my case, I suppose, because because I'm a mother, and I think it comes from there, because I don't remember being like that before becoming a mother. But after becoming a mother, you are always saying people what to do, or like your child what to do. Put your shoes, brush your teeth, have you done this, have you done that? So it's like you become a bit bossy in a good way. So I'm not meaning I'm bossy, but yes, it's like, I guess I'm used to say a lot of like, do this, do that, and then I'm a yoga teacher as well, so I'm a Spanish teacher as well, so I'm very used to say to the people, oh, do this, like follow my instructions in a way. Let's put it this here. So follow what I'm saying, this goes like this, like that, like that. So Pete is not that. And at the moment that he's explaining what's about his campaign and what happened to him, so my personality stepped in, and I was like, no, because this is like that, like that, like that. And it went very wrong. So one thing I have to learn from yesterday is like, my personality should be there at the back, and keeping there at the back, the personality, and just bringing the one from the character I'm playing. So that's a very good learning, and keep it in mind, and I will do my best to keep Pete as he is in my scene, so a bit lost, like what? It gave us, as always, like very good ideas of what we could do. So he suggested perhaps to watch classical comedians like the Marx Brothers, Charles Chaplin, Harvey, and I need to look at that because I know how it is in Spanish. In English I had to go back to it. Oh, it's on my phone and I cannot look at my in Spanish we call them the fat and the slim, but I think it's Harvey and forgotten. Okay, bear with me. I will write it down on the description of the podcast. So we should look at the comedians of those comedians, because they were so great about how their actions were so clear, like their emotions, so, and going over the top. Is like, as he was saying, Charles Chaplin, like the way he walks, he's very like bendy and flexible and very funny, or like just, you know, like spinning around the walking stick. So you can go down to those movements, like very clear movements, and something that perhaps identifies your character. So finding something that is for your character. So that was a very good suggestion, and I'm gonna go and watch some of these old films. I've watched them before, like when I was a child, but I have to say I haven't seen anything from them recently or on purpose. I've seen something of Charles Chaplin in Instagram, I think, and I think somebody posted because now we are in this period that Russia is attacking Ukraine, and somebody posted the monologue of Charles Chaplin of the film The Great Dictator, and he talks about war and people surrendering to the powerful. I know that monologue because a few years ago I did a project with a friend of mine. He proposed a few of us to do this project with him, and it was at the beginning of the pandemic, I remember. So I was alone at home recording that, and he did a very beautiful video. Like, I think we were 6 or 7 of us, and we just did a take of that monologue, and then they mixed it up and put us together, and I have very good memories of that beautiful project. So I saw that with Charles Chaplin, which is like, wow, that monologue is amazing. It's very, very powerful, what he wrote. He was a genius, no questions. But anyway, going back to the play Grief. So a point about Peter. So because all of us we play in Peter. Peter is not the same in all the scenes. Like in most of the scenes, Peter has this character, but then like this character being like not understanding a lot what is happening. But then he has this my son, sorry.
Mira, encontré 60 céntimos en la calle.
Y me lo das a mí que está sucio.
Ah,
Muy bien. So there's a scene that Peter, as Ed was saying yesterday, in order for him to become a man, he has to kill his father. For those ones listening at the podcast, I just put my fingers like, not meaning kill as literally killing, but metaphorically killing. So it's just a process of a boy to become a man. So something has to die for another thing to become. Metaphorically talking. Metaphor. Okay, that's clear. So in the play there is something happens in between him and his father. So his father is not talking to him, and it is not clearly explained what happened. We just know something happened. And what Ed was saying to us, that even if in your scene you don't have to deal with the father, or like it's not included in the scene, all of us should know or should think when we are playing Peter, what happened to him, what happened in between him and his father. And we will play Peter thinking on that event of his life, because that event of his life changed him and made him being as he is, and made him having the breakdown that he's having during the play. So I have to think about it. I think I have a feeling, or like I have this idea of perhaps he was not what his father thought that he could be. You know, sometimes parents, they have some expectations about their children. Some parents tend to portray themselves into their children, so they try to live their dreams from their children, and forgetting that the child is another person. So sometimes you have this dichotomy and this fight in between parents, because let's say in this case it's the father. So maybe the father wanted the child to be in a certain way, like being more sporty, like playing football. He wanted to be with him doing man, again, metaphor, like 2 fingers over it, like things like fishing, and I don't know, like classical, like very prototype things that you can think about. And maybe he was not like that, and so he was not the kind of child that he wanted. Or another circumstance could be like maybe the father was an abusive father, so maybe he beat his child, and so maybe his father had an issue with anger, and he could beat his child very easily. And the mother, because the mother appears on the play briefly, but you can understand that the mother is this character that is in between the child and the father, but it seems like she's inclined more towards the father than towards the child. And that could be because fear, or that could be because she's submissive to the father. Could be as well like she doesn't have a very strong mother instinct. There are many reasons. So it's like it could be that. So it could be that the father was beating him, and the mother was not doing anything. So he has this thing inside of him, and maybe it was because he was not getting great marks, great grades in his, well, he was at school, so now that he's in he's at this advertising agency, and they saying to him actually that he's great and his idea is fantastic and he's so amazing. So he feels that that's the validation he was looking for, his father or his family, but particularly from his father. And so yeah, he can have this type of issue, and so that's something I have to think about. I have not decided yet what's the situation, but yeah, there's something more to play with the character. Now, another thing I found, well, another learning I'm getting from yesterday's class that I think is really great, it's about choices. So I have registration of Ed talking about it during the class, so I think I have to mix it up. Probably in the video I can do that. I'm not sure if I can do that on my podcast. I will try. So about the choices that we take as an actor, so I'm always thinking, or I'm trying to feel how the character I'm playing is feeling. So I'm really trying to understand what's going on the person and on the relationships that character has with other people. And so I was thinking that you take the action, or you go deep inside of you, what probably is the most logic option. But yesterday Ed said, and that's what is stuck on me, is like, no, you take an option that's gonna be interesting, like the strongest option. So going back to the situation of the Pete with his father, so in this situation, Ed was saying like he wants to hurt him, and I was saying, no, I really disagree with you, because a child always wants to be loved by the father or the mother. So it's like when something like this is happening, the child doesn't want to hurt the parent. The child wants to be loved, and perhaps wants to understand why the father was behaving like that with him. So it's not like I want to hurt you, like make you feel really bad. It's more like I want to talk to you, and I want you to acknowledge me, and I want you perhaps to say to me you're sorry because what you did, but not hurting you. But Ed was saying, could that be interesting to watch? Could that be engaging? And then this is the other topic we were talking about yesterday, which is like, as an actor, you take a choice. You take a choice for your actions. So you have multiple choices to take from that they're gonna determine what your next step is or why you're doing something. So it is not really that you have to apply the logic to the action and saying, okay, this is the most logical thing you could do. But sometimes you should choose something that perhaps is not the best thing you could do in real life, but is the most engaging one. So in this case, going back with Pete and his dad, it is much better, like a son that he feels angry towards his dad, and like he's changing completely his life because what his dad did to him, rather than seeking an answer of his behavior, and like everything finishes, like ends beautifully. So let's say the character of the Joker. So the Joker is as he is because what happened to him when he was a child, and the situation that he had, in this case, like with his family. If we think of the last film that the fantastic Joaquin Phoenix did, he becomes an assassin because all the situations that he had with his mother, and he kills his mother at the end. So isn't it that more interesting to watch rather than he forgiving his mother and trying to work out everything and understanding and carrying on with his life, which is like what you would do in normal life, don't get me wrong, but perhaps for a film the other topic is more engaging to watch. So that's another thing I'm taking from yesterday's class, learning. And overall, I would say this is what last class with Ed was about, and the learnings we're taking. So one is the choices that you make as an actor. Make a choice that is powerful. And then another learning I took from it was like, be aware of yourself and don't let your personality step in. If you are the character, you are the character. And this is like something that just came across talking about Jack's class at the end of Ed's class. Why Ed has always said that doing the work of your character is very important. And I was sharing with him what I felt doing the work of other people and copying the work of somebody else that I know. And so I was just mesmerized, like how just by copying the work I could feel how that person felt. And so Ed told me, yes, exactly, it's like the work is a very easy way to get into character because it just changes you completely. And I do agree with him so much. So I think the work is a quick way to get into character. So working, like having the idea of the work of the character, that's another point I'm getting out for it. And then to end this, it's just a little story. So our character Pete, he works in an advertising agency, and it happens like my BA is in advertising, and when I came to London, I was hanging out with people that worked in advertising. And yes, it's a very, very particular world, I would say. So as well, when you are preparing your character, think about where he works and take all of that into consideration. Well, thank you so much for today. I will see you next week. Thank you. Bye.